Let me tell you about my first $20,000 day as a solo entrepreneur. I'm going to share what kicked the whole thing off, I'll break down the actual numbers, but most importantly, something clicked for me that hopefully by the time this video ends, you'll be able to take it away and apply it for yourself. Now, if you're new here, my name is Pat. I've been making YouTube videos for about 6 months now, documenting how businesses can get inbound lead flow. $20,000 is a lot of money, especially in one day as a solo business owner in a business where you've got like 90% plus profit margin. Let me give you some quick background for context. A few years before this, I'd owned a brick and mortar. We'd hit about $1 million. And then I wrapped up that business and moved from Australia to New York City. And that's where I got into marketing consulting for a couple of sub $30 million size businesses. My girlfriend and I decided to start traveling full time, and that's where this story begins. This $20,000 day. So what set this life-changing day in motion? We were on our way to visit the Atacama Desert, which is the driest place on earth. It was an incredible trip. But we were staying in a homestay, the closest main town to the Atacama Desert. And I'd gotten into the habit of waking up early and writing. Well, it wasn't right, I was writing on my phone. And I was writing marketing calls to action. I was practicing them, I was testing them. I still remember the ceiling in this homestay. I was looking at the ceiling and then I would write some more, and I would look at the ceiling and think, and then I would write some more until this phrase, this sentence that I was working on, until I felt that I had it right. And I remember the sun starting to come in and my girlfriend was starting to wake up and we're going to start our day soon. So I finished what I was writing and I put it into Facebook and I hit publish. And here's the post here. Now, I lost this Facebook account. It's the consequence of traveling all the time. Facebook thinks that you're in a different country and not quite sure what's going on. I've not been able to get that Facebook account back. So this is the only screenshot I've got. I've gone through my phone and this is the only screenshot I've got. But I remember it getting up to around about the 800 something comments, but I have no screenshot of that. But this is the post. Now, obviously it blew up and I spent the next like 7-8 days commenting, responding to people and basically telling them, look, I'll get back to you when I'm not checking out one of the coolest parts of Earth. And I do remember spending time in the hotel messaging people and just having to stick my phone on do not disturb mode because it was just chaos. And I didn't want to be glued to my phone. I wanted to check out this cool stuff. So a few weeks goes by, I make the content calendar matrix that I promised that I'd make. I get back to everybody and I start sending it to everyone. And a bunch of people wanted more, so they booked phone calls in with me. And the day comes to take these phone calls and I'm at a friend's apartment in New York City. I'll still remember I set up my laptop in their kitchen, on their kitchen bench where the water drains into I set up there and I took phone calls all day. There was 11 calls, one person didn't rock up, 7 people bought. I was selling 2 different offers, one was $4,800, one was $2,800. The total sales for the day was $26,000. Now, not everyone paid. Some people just paid a deposit and other people paid, I think I gave them a discount if they paid in full. So only about $16,000 came through that particular day. However, I had other clients at the time and about $4,500 came into my account on that same day. So the total cash when it was all said and done was $20,400 and something. And it felt absolutely incredible. I'd had monster days before, but as I said, it was in a brick and mortar. We had $50,000, $60,000, we had a $70,000 day, but this is with a full business. The margins in that business were completely reversed, and we had staff, we had a showroom, we had a forklift, we had overheads. But in this instance, it was $20-something thousand in one day, and this was just me and my laptop and my phone and an internet connection. This was totally different, and this really shook me. I realized what was possible just selling my marketing knowledge and helping people with their business, doing things that I like to do anyway, but doing it for other people's businesses, helping them get clients. So this was back in 2019. Since then, I've had some great days, but I've also had a period of time where I didn't want to get any more clients because it was taking away from the experience of traveling the world. I don't want to travel the world just to sit in a cafe or sit in a hotel room, just that I can help people on Zoom calls. And this brings us up to date to today. The point of this whole video was to share with you what clicked inside my head that day. All of that was possible, and much of my travel has become possible because of that one single post that I wrote that morning. And you see, I've helped a lot of people with their marketing since then, and I've noticed something peculiar about those who have also had extraordinary sales days or weeks or bumper months, and other people who struggle constantly to slowly increment their sales, and it feels like they're grinding and they're dragging shit uphill. And maybe you can relate to this. See, I've learned over my life that I have an addictive personality. This has gotten me into some trouble over the years. But what I want to share with you today is that it's also been the source of many of my wins over the years. See, back in 2019, when I was waking up early and writing calls to action, I was kind of addicted to seeing what effect, what reaction I could elicit from my audience. I was kind of addicted to it. I was already getting clients. I was already doing well enough to be traveling full time, but I wasn't drinking as much. I was going through a bit of a fitness stage. I wasn't playing games. I wasn't doing all the things that usually fill that addiction hole. So that energy was focused on what I was trying to do at the time. And at the time, what I'd set my mind on was I wanted to try and skill up as a copywriter. I looked around and I realized that the best business owners were very good marketers, and the best marketers were all incredibly competent copywriters in their own right. So learning copywriting became a bit of an addiction for me. I became fascinated by it. I was buying books, I was listening to audios, I was doing workshops. I was trying to figure out, how do you think this way? How can I use words to craft messages that are going to get people to see my point of view, and hopefully I can lead them towards a sales decision. And this simple post that I made was basically like the smallest, tiniest little fraction of writing that I could try and figure out how to get people to take an action. And I kind of got addicted to it. I recently saw this video on YouTube by a guy called Thomas Im, and this video is modeled off his basically. Thanks, Thomas, if you're watching this. But it reminded me of my story, and that's why I'm sharing it with you today. I've had mentors who I'm grateful for who have guided me. I've got great family and friends who I can talk to, and like iron sharpens iron. It makes us better, makes us smarter. But there is nothing as powerful as when you personally become fascinated about solving these business type challenges, especially if you have an addictive personality. Because to everyone else, it looks like discipline, but really you're just like a dog with a bone and you can't stop. And instead of that energy being focused on things that are damaging to you, it's focused on stuff that ultimately puts money into your bank. If I could inject every new person who started working with me with a magic serum, it would be that regular addictions aren't that fun anymore, and that they would have to instead focus that energy onto solving their business problems, to focus that addictive energy. Because when you do, you'll become fascinated with solving your business challenges, and you'll probably blow straight past your business goals. And this addiction thing, it's happening again. I'm kind of getting addicted to figuring out how this YouTube thing works. Let's see where this takes us. If you've got big ambition and scary goals, this next video is about why keeping your goals a secret is the best decision you'll ever make. I'll see you in the next video.